Can't tell Eve like, yeah, this apartment and this car, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell her that. You gotta sell her like a dream. You gotta even it can be some shit like if this place go on, if it's the Lord's will, then so be it. But you can't tell her like, yo, that we gonna rock out with this. It's always an upgrade. And that's what happened with Eve in the garden. Satan offered her an upgrade. You'll be like God. So women, Eve is always willing to upgrade to like the next level. Hypergamy, yeah, that's their nature. So, and that's why the Lord brought in the penalty for adultery is death. And women would still commit adultery on the slide and risk death after a stoning. And that not just you was put to death, you was stoned. If you was a Levite's wife and you committed adultery, you was burned with fire. The Levites had to marry virgins anyway. You know what I'm saying? But you was burned with fire. You was a wife of a Levite and committed adultery. And that's why, and that kept kind of prevented them from trying to upgrade to the next level or to the next branch. You know, so he threatened them with death to prevent them from doing it. What you said? Yeah, what you said?
Sirach 25 and 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her.
Right. And that's why it's good to, like, if you can, that's why it's good to, like, have your own shit. Because now you got, like, some type of leverage. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, have stuff in your name. That way you could have some leverage. Nah, I ain't doing that. We're not doing that. And you could kind of, like, pave the way. But they still going to buck up and rebel. Because it's the queen of heaven. It's their society. You know, and if you got, like, children, like, through the courts, like, you know, in the family court, that's automatically against the men. So that's really kind of like hard to do. They kind of get leverage over the kids and so on. But I notice a lot of jakes, the point is a lot of jakes follow these holidays behind Eve, and they know they are. And they kind of got the spirit like, I wouldn't even be into this shit. One of the brothers, he ain't in the camp now, but he said, man, he had a lot of kids. So he was like, yo, this Christmas shit. He used to, he knew the holidays was off, but he used to hate it because he had like 7, 8 kids. So he like, yo, we spend so much money at this time of year. He was like, all of that could be going like into the family. But you trying to keep up with the Joneses and buy all these gifts and do all of this, that shit was really hitting his pockets hard as hell. And it was like really frustrating. But when you don't got leverage, and you probably really never fully have leverage in this setup over any period, but you want to have some type of bargaining chip when it comes to that. That's it over there. That's it over there. Okay. Give me that. You got that Deuteronomy.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 16. And I'm going to start at verse... Yep. It says, I'm going to start 18. It says, Judges chapter 16, verse 18. It says here, all right. Judges chapter 16, verse 12. It says, Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a threat. And Delilah said unto Samson, Hitherto thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. And she said unto him, How canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me. That was
Hey, that sound like Eve today. You know, if you love me, you'll do this. Or a real man. A real man do this. A real man do that. How come everything a real man do benefits your ass? Like, so that's like psychological thing. That's like shaming tactics to get you to, you know, to comply with what she want to do. To give in, yeah. To play on your emotions. Because one gift, and this is bad, one gift of a woman is empathy. They able to feel when something is wrong or going wrong with you. They able to actually tap into your emotions. They can actually become the person that's weeping. Say a best friend got dumped by a boyfriend and she's crying. She can actually tap into the feelings of her best friend and become her through emotion. Like, I found that, but that really was a gift of the Lord for them to use that to cheer their man up. Like, she's able to tap. That's why, like, if she tap into your emotions, you can get extremely mad and extremely upset. And you know, some men say that. I've never been that mad before until a woman got. What's the maddest you ever been? A chick pissed me off. That was the maddest I ever been. And you got to think about that. Like, how can I get that frustrated? You know what I mean? It's that they able to actually tap into your emotional side and being, and they can either raise it up or they can draw it down. Now, the gift of empathy was for them to cheer you up. You know what I'm saying? I saw Eve once. This shit was crazy. I had nothing wrong with my face. I was actually going through something, right? But it was nothing heavy enough. But as soon as she walked through the door, I said, "What's up?" I just said, "What's up?" Regular, normal shit. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Nothing." But I was like, wow. But I got the understanding. I'm like, she was able to pick it. She was like, oh, I was like, why you say that? She was like, nah, I just thought something was wrong. That was her empathy radar scanning, able to scan the fucking thing to pick up like something was like bothering me. Even though it was something small, little something on my mind, but she was able to actually pick up on it and ask me like what was wrong, which I found like amazing. And this is going into Samson and Delilah. But they supposed to use that to actually, you know, comfort us and this and that. But now it's been recognized. So you gotta be careful not to let these chicks tap into your emotions and get you to flip. And they start teasing you. What, you mad? You mad? You mad? And start teasing you. And you like flip and lose it, probably kill it. Or do some shit when you get in a deeper captivity, you know?
Oh, just a quick point to add to what you were saying. Remember, if you watch the movie Rocky 3, after he lost the club and land, and then Adrian got in his ass was like, what's wrong with you? Like, I can tell something wrong with you. And she got out of him like, yo, I'm scared. For the first time in my life, I'm scared of my life. Yeah, she was able to bring that out of him.
I'm scared too, Rocky! But yeah, but she cheered him up. But really what was bothering him, he lost Mick. Mick died. So ever since Mick, I mean, he ain't really care about losing. That's a good point. He ain't really care about losing the club of lane. But Mickey died, his trainer. And once Mick died, he was fucked up because, you know, that was like his father. He was fucked up by that. So Apollo trying to change, what's wrong with you, Rock? I'm scared, G. For the first time in my life, I'm scared. Well, if you gotta lose, then lose, Rocky. At least you lose with your dignity. And she kind of like, and he hugged her, why you so tough? That's because I live with the fighter. That shit was heavy, man, them Rocky moves. And really, through the spirit, Adrian is kind of like a woman, like, it's like a fire story and a love story. Adrian is kind of like the ideal woman. She was with Rocky when he had nothing. She was with him on the way to the top. She was with him at the top. And when he lost everything, she was with him. And then the creeds and all that, she died by his side type shit. She was there from day one, you know? Since she worked in a fucking pet shop. all the way to the end of her life. So you be like, and that's why a lot of people like the Rocky movie subconsciously, because it shows that ride or die chick that's just down by your side from day one to the end of her life, how it's originally supposed to be. You know, and we all kind of crazy. Yeah.
So continuing in the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 15. And she said unto him, How canst thou say I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words,
Yeah,
and
she pressed them daily. And it's funny, if you keep tapping the glass on the same spot with a pin, just tapping it, it'll eventually crack and break. And that's the same thing Eve would do, and it happened here in the scriptures. They would ask you the same question and nag you and tap on that same spot, because in her mind, you want to change your mind, or you eventually going to break. And if you do that once or twice with them, they now know they can break you or get you to change your mind. So that's why you gotta kind of tell them, like, yo, once I say no, that shit, don't keep asking. You know, and children do that too. They keep asking, they keep nagging you about it until it destroys your peace and you give them what they want. But now, since you have done it, you have okayed and let them know that you are breaking you and you will go against your word, what you have originally said, which is not good.
So it goes on in verse 16, and it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all.
His peace was broken. You know, and that's what Jake do with these holidays. You know, they peace be broken to what they on autopilot when they come to eat. They just be like, look, I know she gonna want me to do this and do that. I'm gonna just do it because I don't want to hear her mouth. And a lot of people live in this bubble and just being like, and then you know it's crazy, right? They don't actually realize it. A lot of brothers don't actually realize it. They just is on this program to do certain things based off of her reaction, and they don't even know. Even if it goes against sin, keeping wicked holidays, rebelling against the Most High, it's just they trying to maintain their peace, and they want their household to run smooth, and the last thing they need to hear are bristle, especially if you got one of them loudmouth, real nagging, like nigga woman, or one of them Ephraimites that are like, yeah, man, and you have to like live there. That's like y'all share the same space and all that. Y'all can be like hell, man. You know, that's why the Lord said a wicked woman is equal to a wicked man. That's so treacherous. That's an actual curse. And he said what? He who pleases the Lord shall escape from him, but the sinner shall be taken by her. So that was so like treacherous. The Lord like, y'all not a way to punish you. It ain't gotta be trauma or violence or other ways I be messing up Jacob through the health or whatever. I just hook you up with her. You know what I mean? That's gonna be the end of it. It's gonna be a slow death, you know? And that's like the Lord, 1,000 ways to die. That's it on that.
One more verse. It says here that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man.
Yeah, so you see press the problem there. So you know, these holidays you got that 11.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, and verse 11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord Yahawah.
Yeah, by keeping these holidays going out of your way. You know what's crazy? Right around time these holidays roll around, the holy days come. You know, you got right in the 7th month, you got the feast of Memorial of the Trumpets. You got the Atonement, which is a fast. You got the Feast of Tabernacles. Jake like the party. These holidays be like a week long. You know, we do it for like a day or so. But then you got what? You got the dedication, Hanukkah, right? You got Purim, and you got the Passover. And all this happened from like Labor Day, September, all the way to like February, March. And then Easter come around the time of the Passover. So it's like, yo, you could celebrate these wicked holidays, or you could celebrate the Lord's holy day. But what do Jake do? They follow the ways of this world. They follow what everyone else is doing.
It says, continue verse 11, Isaiah 65, verse 11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord Yahawah, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that truth.
Yeah, you forget the law, statutes, and commandment, and what truth came in during Thanksgiving. You know, the Edomites. You know, they marched on Gad, and you prepare the table. What do Jake do? They get the turkey, cranberry sauce, which is all symbolic. You know, and Gad made a lot of their crowns from the turkey. You know, that's why that's was the bird chosen, because a lot of their crowns that they wore was actually from the turkey. And the turkey represents the flesh, and the cranberry sauce represents the coagulated blood when he was killing them. That's why the cranberry, that's why those dishes is like there. But it says you prepare a table for the truth. So you preparing a table and actually setting up a gathering based on that truth. And Gad means truth. The truth shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. You prepare a table for that truth based upon what happened to your own people. You know?
If I could just add on to that also, that word truth, when you go into that was said, it means Gad, but that also was a Babylonian idol, meaning it was basically luck, like good luck. So they say you prepare a table for that truth. That was actually them prepping a feast for idolatry toward a Babylonian god. And that's what you even got today. People still, when they say, oh, good luck, wish me luck, that's really going back to that Babylonian deity that they're worshiping. That's why, you know, brothers in the truth, we shouldn't say good luck, because that's something that subconsciously has been embedded into society, but really that's you're worshiping or showing praise to a Babylonian deity. You're asking that Babylonian deity to give you good fortune. That's what it goes back to, a fortune.
Right. That's kind of like saying God forbid in a sense, because really it's Lord's will.
Right.
Because when you say Lord's will, it could go either way. Even if we don't understand it, like if something don't go our way, you be like, Lord's will. Okay, I really wanted that, but the Lord's will didn't have it done. I have to accept it. So when you tell a brother Lord's will, you like, neither way it goes, I'm going to accept the Lord's judgment. But when you say good luck, you kind of like pushing, you know, like probability or people. I hate the word God forbid, you know, because you like, you pushing your own will and saying you forbid the Lord's will that this happen, you know. But I never do that actually. Going into the deity of luck. You know, I never heard it broken down in that aspect. But it all ties into modern day time. You know. Right there. Hey, Babylon great. Yeah.
It says, so continue in Isaiah 65 and 11, it says, and that furnished the drink offering unto that number. Therefore will I number you to a sword.
I forgot exactly what deity that is also, but that's also a deity as well. In the Hebrew, I forgot what it is, brother, to look it up. But it said, prepare a table for that truth and prepare a drink offering to that number. That's what the Lord is like basically saying, since you wanna worship these deities, I'm gonna number you. I'm gonna number you to the sword. Then. It's like that's like Jake talk right there. You wanna worship luck, or you wanna worship the truth? Then I'm gonna have a troop come after you. You wanna prepare a table to that number, then I'm gonna number you to the sword. That's it. Oh, many, yeah, many, yep. Fate of fortune. Fate of fortune. So luck and truth and numbers, basically fortune deities in Babylonia.
It says God of fate, who the Jews worshipped in Babylonia.
There you go. And Jake still do that today. You know, they
God
still.
of fate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they still with tarot card readings, all of that. Oh, it's your fate, it's your destiny, all that shit, man. They try to leave it up to the stars and all that other stuff, but what are you ultimately doing? You're taking the power and the praise away from the one and true living power, YAHAWASHI. And that's what these heathen. That's why the Lord told us not to learn the ways of the heathens, because they worship things that are created and not the Creator Himself.
Right. Karma.
So continue in Isaiah 65 and verse 12, it says, Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer.
Yeah, the Lord's calling now. But what the doors of repentance closing up. Read.
When I spake, ye did not hear.
The Lord spake, you raised your hand, you turned your ear. You see us out here. You know, you didn't want to hear. Now this Kyrie and Kanye thing going on, y'all want to listen to them because what, they're celebrities. But we've been out here the whole time. And you still didn't want to listen. Then what the next thing happened, y'all forget about that, you know, as the so-called Christmas come up, Nimrod's Day. Then after that is New Year's, you know.
It says, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not.
Yeah, and the Lord knows a delight in these pagan holidays, man. And a lot of it, you celebrating your own destruction. When we keep the Passover, we celebrating their destruction, their downfall of these heathens. You know? So at the bottom of Jake got a man up. You know, hey, that's the old Texas camp. Man up, Jacob. For y'all brothers that been around a little bit. That was a parallel to my man too, man up, Jacob. But yeah, that's it. Oh, I was gonna say, just tying this last point, with the New Year's doesn't come in the middle of winter. That doesn't make sense. First of all, the earth doesn't revolve around the sun. The sun revolves around the earth. That's why when you say the sun sits still, give me a bed in here, a motherfucking bed. When the sun sits still, get that in Joshua. When he told the sun to be still, the sun rises and the sun set. In order for something to set, that's a verb. For something to rise, that's a verb. You be like rise or levante, mean get up or rise, right? That's an action. That's something you have to do. So if the sun is rising, that means it's moving. If the sun is setting, if it rises in the east, it sets in the west, that's an action. That's a verb. A verb shows what? Movement. So in order for okay, come on, bring it out,
Joshua 10 and 12. Then spake Joshua to Yahawah in the day when Yahawah delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Son, stand thou still upon Gibeon.
Yeah, for something to stand still, obviously is moving. Why would you tell something to be still that's being still already? That's stupid, right? So obviously something is moving. He froze time. This was a miracle the Lord did for the Israelites. He froze time. So in order for a season to come in, they got to come back to what is starting point. Like we running laps, second lap come in when we hit our starting point. As soon as we cross that starting point, second lap comes in. So it's the same thing with seasons. It's the same thing with cycles. You know, you got high tide, you got low tide, you got summer, spring, winter, fall. It's a cycle. So now, in order for the new year to come in, it has to reach back what its starting point. Something has to be coming out and something has to be coming in. You know, whether it's fall coming out and winter coming in, but obviously it's when winter leaves and that's is when the spring comes in. That's that cross line. A new year can't come in the middle of a season. In the middle of winter. That's like we running laps and I get halfway over the lap and I tell you, yo, I'm on second lap. You like, yo, you ain't lap me. We both still running. You gotta reach to the starting point to say you at second lap. So when it's a transition time, that's when the new season drop during that season switch. December is in the middle of the winter. The 25th, going into January, that's in the middle of winter. Which represents sun worship going into the winter solstice, which I'm not going to go into all that. But read that, bro.
So this is a bib. It says, the name of the first month of the year, as Exodus 13, chapter 13, verse 4, 23 and 15, 34 and 18. After the exile name was changed to Nisan, it fell about the time of our March and early April.
Right, so then you're going to tell you around what, March and April, which is what that transitioning period, you know, season. of the season. And then it's also in the putting of all the crops and everything come back. You know, you get a new season, new everything in the springtime. In the winter, everything is dead. You could tell when winter time hit because all the leaves will be off the trees, most of them. Because some trees keep leaves all year round, like the evergreen tree. Now, at Christmas, you use the evergreen tree to do wickedness, but little do y'all know the evergreen tree represents pine oil. Pine oil is the same oil you use for turpentine. Turpentine is you have to use it in small portions because if you take too much, it'll kill you. It's kind of like food grade peroxide, H2O2. Turpentine comes from the pine tree. It decalcify your pineal gland. It get rid of parasites. It cures seizures. But Esau try to demonize it. Not that I'm not talking about that Home Depot shit. That shit'll kill you. Even if you use small amount. I'm talking about pure gum spirits. That's what it's called. Pure gum spirit. Turpentine oil, 100%, and it comes from the pine tree. Matter of fact, they got it online on Amazon. You can order it, but it's I put it sometimes in an oil burner and burn it, and it lights up the whole man. And it's kind of like that pine. You know when you clean with like pine salt, that's that bullshit pine salt. But imagine burning like authentic pine oil from the pine tree, the evergreen tree. See, the evergreen tree has its uses, but people use it on the left-hand side for wickedness and worship. But going back into the New Year's, you got October. They call it the 10th month, but it's the 8th month. Like an octagon has 8 sides, an octopus has 8 tentacles. Like a stop sign is an octagon, it has 8 sides. November is the 9th month, but they call it the 11th month. And that's what you get in Spanish or in the Latin, nueve. That's how you say 9 in Spanish, nueve, which means 9, from November. December represents what? The 10th month, but they call it the 12th month. Like a decade is 10 years. Deci means 10. Centi means 100. Like the centurion, he had rank over 100 soldiers. Milli, if you know about place value, you got deci, centi, milli, kilo. These are all like prefixes for math words that represent place value and count number. But deci means 10, December, or like a decagon, like 10-sided shape. December means 10. January would be the 11th. February would be the 12th. Depending on how those moons land up. You know, I watch those moons, but I'm just painting a picture. February would be the 12th, and March and April around that time would be what, the 1st. And that's when the Passover coming in, everything. You know, you get new weather, new leaves, new grass, new trees, and you put your winter clothes up and bring your spring gear back out. You know what I mean? New outfit, new gear, and all that, because what? It's a new year. The earth has regenerated itself, rejuvenated itself. So that's all in the pudding. So Jake is always backwards. Even in China, they got the Chinese New Year. And people don't ask, like, yo, which one is right? The Chinese New Year or this one? Well, the Chinese New Year is actually more closer to being on point. You know, then if you look at the zodiac signs, which we ain't into that, you know, this one, we ain't left off of that. But even if, because you people in this world, especially you women, you heavy into zodiac signs. The question is this: how come Aries is the first sign of the zodiac? When you check it out, it's not what's the symbol? Capricorn. What's the symbol?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. But anytime you go into the zodiac chart, what's the first sign of the zodiac? It's Aries. So the question is, how come it's not? I don't follow that. I know Aries though for bringing out this breakdown. But I forget what the symbol was, but he said the symbol is around Sagittarius. But the question is, when you go into zodiac and tarot card reading, signs and all that shit, to you people that's in the world, the question is, if December is the beginning of the new year, how come Sagittarius is not the first sign of the zodiac instead of Aries? But they know Aries is the first sign of the zodiac because Aries is the beginning of the year, which Aries falls between the end of March to the mid-March to mid-April. So the proof is in the pudding. I'll let we got multiple brothers up. I just want to get on these holidays and touch on that. I'm the next one.
The script because, as the title goes, destruction is coming. Right? The reason why America is going to be completely destroyed is part of the customs of America. All right, somebody give me Jeremiah 10 real quick. All right, the customs of America is vain. Everything that America stands for is based on what? Wickedness, man. Founding fathers based this place on what? Masonry. When you go back into it, with this guy Albert Pike also said what? Masonry is witchcraft. The scriptures tell you that what? Not to suffer or wish to live. So really, the founding fathers, they built this world or this land based on what? Witchcraft, which would be a result in destruction. Right? Now, I had a dream yesterday through the spirit. It's crazy because we got beamed up. All right, in the dream we got beamed up, just like it tells you in the scriptures how we were up and we were looking down. I could see a glass. That's exactly what I saw. And the only thing I could hear was people screaming. And I was telling the court this afternoon about how it felt. When you go to an amusement park or you go to like Six Flags or whatever, and you hear people screaming like that. That's how it sounded, man. And all you can hear is it's like a big drum that just hits, and you just hear a sound of explosion. Man. That's all you can see. Yeah, like I saw that. Shit. And you can actually see it. All you hear is people screaming, man. Hopeless, just screaming, mad people, mad voices, just going crazy, man. And we were talking about in the car like, damn, that's what put the fear of the Lord in you. Right? That this destruction is going to be one of epic proportion. It was unbelievable. I'm talking like destroying the land all the way, all the fucking way, man. You couldn't see shit. All you could hear is voices. You could hear people screaming, crying. You know what I'm saying? Millions, billions of people just crying, man. Mad voices simultaneously. And you can hear that shit all the way up there. You can hear it.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord Yahawah speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
O house of Israel. And that's why nowadays you're starting to see the vibration of Israel is coming out in the forefront. Okay, like we said it would happen. Okay? Now the Lord is using different characters to set up a certain part of the movie, okay, to put his men out in the forefront. Alright? But right now what we're doing is we're ushering in the return of our Lord. Okay?
I was gonna say, I saw on social media somebody said it's funny because the Israelites used to be our dirty little secret. Now everybody else knows.
There you go. Everybody else knows because the Lord is putting on the forefront. Okay, He's putting this word out there, man. Now you might think, YAHAWASHI or whatever, different groups. All right, but ultimately you got to understand the spirit that's behind it, which is what Israel is being put in the forefront. Okay, because we're at the end. All right, that's exactly what the Lord said is going to happen. He said, what? This gospel of the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole entire earth, and then the end shall come, man. And we are at the end. All the signs point to the end of this kingdom and the setting of the kingdom of heaven to come. Okay? So the Lord is telling us that before the destruction, this is why I'm going to destroy this place, because of how you people live. So you Israelites have to wake up. This custom, like the elder was going into, this whole system is dead. Okay, the spirit of this mirth spirit, all right, it's been dead since what, 2016. Oh, we saw. Yeah, I read this in the car earlier. Yeah.
If it's good, I didn't read it.
We could go into that. We could go into that through the spirit because that's the times that we're in. Okay. If you could read that title real quick.
All right. It's how many Hebrew Israelites are there, and how worried should Jews be?
Right.
It's from the times of
Yeah, this is Israel. Israeli. New people.
Right. But what's that article? What's the name of the website?
The Times of Israel.
The Times of Israel. So we are in the times of Israel. That's why you have these two things. The two people are fighting over the land of Israel, or actually the inheritance of being called Israelites. Okay, you got the so-called Jews, and then you have the actual Jews themselves, which are actually the Israelites. Okay,
Israelis.
the Israelis versus the Israelites. Okay, that's what's coming now, because ultimately the Lord said that will be the end time battle, right? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Just like in the womb. Okay, we're battling once again. Okay, but this time we're going to win because our Lord is coming back. Whether you want to believe it or not, the Lord is coming back and he's going to destroy this place because of its wickedness.
Right.
And look, guess what? If you want to come and debate that, guess what? All you got to do is go back into American history. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Thomas Jefferson said it. I tremble for my country when a big if God is just. He said, if God is just, then I tremble for my country.
Right. And why would he say that? Because based on what they've done, the unjust things they've done to both northern and southern kingdom, man. And we're the only people on the earth that's ever been through something like that. The so-called Chinese people ain't go through that. The so-called Africans ain't go through that. The so-called Jewish people ain't going through what we went through. Not even close. For 400 plus years, even prior to that, no, never. We're the only people that went through it, and that wasn't because of any man's power. That was the Heavenly Father that did that to us. And he said at the end, he's going to get us out of here, man. This was a land of our captivity. Now, if you're captive, that means you have to have a captive. Okay? The Lord chose the perfect devil to be our captive. And he's about to what? Make an example out of these devils, man. So your ADLs, all your institutions that you've created to come against this truth is not going to work. Your FBI, your CIA, all these different things. Every 2 days you got a new mass shooting, and it always goes back to some weird narrative. All that stuff is being broken down by this truth, man. Okay, you can't do nothing against this truth. All right. So continue.
So it says, Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right. So learn not the way of the heathen. Okay, like the elder was going into, we have our own custom, man. We have our own high holy days that signify something. You see, but the world is going into what? All these pagan holidays, these pagan customs, and majority of these people, they don't even know where these things go back to. You know, they celebrate it because the devil of this world has deceived them because of money, has deceived them to think of these pagan rituals to be assimilated with good tidings. You know, they think of these holidays as, oh, Merry Christmas, you know, Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving, gift giving, well-wishing, you know, family get-togethers and so on and so forth, man. That's all pagan. You're not supposed to go into these things. All right? These are the nations you can't, oh, well, Lord, how come they can do it but we can't do it? Well, the Lord said he made you separate. You see? Like, you can't, as a father, you can't have children and then you see your children engaging in these other customs and then they come to you, Dad, why can't we do this? Our friends do it. Our friends are doing it. What do you think he's going to tell you? Well, you're not them. They're not from this house. They're not your family. I raised you better than that. You see? I raised you better than that. And that's why people don't understand. Okay, they want to be like the rest of the heathen, man. The Lord's going to treat them just like that. Especially the 2/3 of our people. Okay? Because you bring a bad name to Israel and you bring a very bad name to the Heavenly Father's name, Yahawah. Okay? And we take pride in that name. We uphold that name, YAHAWASHI. Okay? Lord willing, it's on to salvation, man. But for the rest of you, you're going to be destroyed. It is what it is. All right?
I was going to say, and to know that we have to, this isn't our rest, is ultimately because we have no sovereignty here.
Right.
Our people are basically coerced or grew up in Babylon, right? In Babylon, which means confusion, there's a multiple different types of lifestyles. And one way that I see this play out is because, so half of my team that I work with is actually in India. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving. They don't celebrate 4th of July. Those holidays are not something that is a custom. It's not their culture, it's not their custom, so they don't celebrate it there. But when you come to America, they celebrate Diwali, they celebrate Rosh Hashanah, they celebrate Chinese New Year, they celebrate all of these different customs here in America. And this is how you know that this place is Babylon, but our culture is not celebrated here. You know, we don't get days off for our heritage. Right. We don't get nothing. But you got our people, they're in and they around this stuff. So our people, I've seen some of our people actually even celebrate Diwali. I'm like, you're not even Hindu. You're not even Hindu, but oh, happy Diwali. They get the little fucking, what them shits is calling me. I'm like, yo, but that's why the Lord said, what? Learn not the ways of the heathen. But here in America, that's all our people are learning. Is every heathen underneath the sun, starting with Esau, but all of these heathens is just teaching our people their ways, and is leading to more and more idolatry.
And that's why America is known as the melting pot. Okay, because it's a pot that's mixed, it's confused All right, confusion meaning what? Con meaning with, and fusion means to mix. Okay, it's mixed with a whole lot of things that don't make sense. Okay, things that are not original, things that are pagan. Okay, only in America can you see a man being celebrated because he calls himself a woman. But he stands up and calls himself an Israelite man. He's being demonized. That's the only a place like this. You go to different countries, they look at that and they laugh. Like, these people are crazy. But America, nah, that's not crazy. That's normal. You see, they've turned everything upside down. That's why the Lord is going to destroy this place. And if you don't get it, you're going to be destroyed too. Just like in that dream, you're going to be one of those people who's going to be listening and hearing, screaming. All right? Screaming like little bitches. That's what it sounds like. Little schoolgirls screaming for help. That's how the Lord made them, man. Hopeless and helpless, man. All right? And there was nothing anyone could do about it. All we did was hear the sounds of like the mist was pelting this place, man. And like I said, it sounded like a big drum being hit. Like, boom. That's all you heard after. And all you hear is people screaming, like, yo, it's great, like an amusement park. Just imagine that. Go to like a park that has kids in there, and all you hear is the screaming. That's all you heard, man. You know? Shit.
Yeah. That's spiritual that you had a dream about us getting beamed up, because 2 nights ago I had a dream like that too, where the chariots came down and that big flashlight beam hit us. You know what I mean? And it was like people was trying to run away from it, and I was running towards it. And after we was beamed up, I seen people scavenging, trying to get something to eat and everything. It was desolate, and it was nighttime, but the chariots was like, it was only like 3 of them, and like this whole 4 or 5 square mile radius, and it took up majority of the people. And as I was on the ship, I was watching people going through garbages and trying to capture animals and all of that, and we was comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
So that's crazy. You just had that dream last night, because it was like Wednesday I had the dream. The chariots came down, like 3 of them, and it was heavy beaming, and it was like I was scared at first, but I was welcoming it. Like, I was like running towards where they was beaming at, and I got right in the sight where, you know what I mean?
In the dream, I don't remember how we got up there. All I remember was we were up there looking down. Did it trigger or not? It did. I don't have any. I remember. Oh, we got staying. No, it just happened. And then we heard the sounds of people screaming. That I remember very vividly. All right. All you see was like red all over the land, man. It was crazy. Yeah. Man. So that's what's coming. So prepare for it. All right.
This is a book we took all like, this book of Isaiah chapter 45, verse 14. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, the laborer of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and the Sabines, men of stature shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, Surely Yahawah is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God." Verse 15. "Verily thou art a God that hidest thyself, O God of Israel, the Savior." And verse 16 is the point. "They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols."
That's the same sentiments that the book of Ezra shared. When he saw the power of the enemy, the Most High working with them, what did he say? He said that we all got to worship the God of Daniel, man. Okay? So it's the same thing. The same thing is going to happen this time around. All these other nations are going to bow down to the Israelite men. Okay, it starts with YAHAWASHI. Because he said, "He that will not bow down to worship me, bring them hither and slay them before me." So it's going to be either you're doing it or you don't. And then you're going to be punished for that. You're going to be destroyed, period. All right? That's what's coming. The scripture says that he's going to rule with a scepter. Okay? He's going to rule with an iron fist of righteousness. That should put fear in your heart, man. Okay? And for you people who are in this truth, and you're not doing the will of the Heavenly Father, you're going to be destroyed too. He said there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And this goes all the way back 2,000 years ago, man. Okay? And that's when you start to see the vibration, the brother got the article, we can jump right into that. It's a spirit. You know?
That's the word that just came out. Something every time we together, something comes out.
Right? Because it's a spirit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the Lord has the vibration going on now. And guess what? From here on out, it's only going to be hard hitting it in your face, man. It's just going to be coming straight to your face. And that's why it's going to lead to what? Persecution, and also what? The famine of the word, the demonization of the Bible. Okay, that's where it's going to end up at, man. Because everything that's going on is what? They're pushing closer and closer to demonizing righteousness, man. Okay, so we know where this is going. And guess what? You ain't going to stop us, man.
Right.
All right, this game is over. You ain't stopping us. It's over.
All right. Wait till you hear this. All right. So it says, how many Hebrew Israelites? It says, how many Hebrew Israelites are there, and how worried should Jews be? And then it says, a recent militant posturing of Israel United in Christ, followers of Hebrew Israelite spiritual movement, has alarmed many already on edge from recent attacks, rise in anti-Semitism. Yep. It says, dressed in marching purple hoodies and shirts with gold fringes attached to the bottom in observance of Deuteronomy 22 and 12. Hundreds of members of a controversial Hebrew Israelite group marched through the streets of Brooklyn on Sunday. Hey, Jacob, it's time to wake up, they chanted, using a term for people of color who have yet to embrace their true identity as descendants of Jacob, later called Israel. We got good news for you. You are the real Jew.
We are the real. And see, but that's the thing. They know that's the truth, and that's why they put the word black in front of it. See, Esau knows the truth, so whatever he does is, all right, we're not going to fight against the truth. We're going to infiltrate it. Okay, we're going to let it go as far as we try to stop it. Right? When you try to stop something, the more you try to stop it, the more attention it gets. Okay? So they're not going to try to stop this truth. They can't do that. It's impossible at this point. So they're going to, the best they can do is what? Infiltrate. Why do you think they're using IUIC? Huh? Because it's easy to demonize those guys. It's very easy. I mean, when you watch the whole parade shit, whatever, if you pay attention to it, you have security dudes literally making way for them to pass. Making way, watch out, watch out. I'm like, what is this? Set up. Yeah, like if you don't want them to be there, why are you encouraging their march? You see? Because they're opening the way for the demonization, but it's not going to work like this.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that was the brother I'm the one with Paul who didn't go by, but he was the, and it's the spirit because he's the one that put out a video showing all the celebrities and all, you know, all walks of Hollywood dealing with realizing that they the true Jews. And we was on that topic when he pulled up and saluted the brothers. So that's just like the Lord giving us a confirmation. Even though that's just, you know, he's a regular brother like us, but it's still through the spirit because the Lord always shows some type of edification every time we in camp. You know, that's all.
Oh yeah, like you said, yeah. I went to our place and see that and IUIC they were setting up, they were chanting HY and all them. So I already know that they're gonna use them to bring that demonization on us. You know, so it was just all through the spirit that I seen it, and I'm seeing they top and whatever. They out there chanting and shit, whatever. So yeah, so they're gonna definitely use them to bring that demonization on us because you know they have it on the thing that we're under the Southern Property Law that we're hate. So they're gonna use that to infiltrate everybody that's saying that they're Israelite, regardless of the different doctrines and things like that. So this is on a bigger scale. This is bigger than just IUIC. This is the probably using a church or whatever to bring, the Jacob trouble and everything, and the whole demonization, and then bringing those charges and everything against us. So,
Hey, COINTELPRO.
Right.
It slipped my mind because it happened so long ago. But yesterday, at the crib or whatever, Eaton, the brother that do the. Remember we went to AC and the cop rolled past us looking mad hard. We were switching cars. This spiritual because it just recently came back. No, Hotel that we did. He told me, he was like, yo. He was like, why that day y'all left, police was watching y'all he pulled up. Not the car that drove past. He said it was another car, like further down the street. He was sitting in his car drove by. So he was like, when y'all, remember I went back to the store to get my car.
Right.
He was like, when you came back and y'all should, because I'm like, what you talking about? We just had a holy day. I'm like, you talking about day? He was like, nah, before, when you got in the black tinted out car. I was like, oh, you talking about day? I was like, you talking about when we went to AC? He was like, well, I know when he was like, yo, whatever happened, he was like, yo, when you pulled up and you took shit out of your car to switch it back in, your car, because we rode down with you.
Right,
I took it out and put it in your car. He was like, yo, when you pulled up, like shortly after they pulled like down the street, it was like watching your car hard as hell. And you jumped in with him and y'all just left. But I was like, yo, that was the same day because we were standing right there. They rolled past us like slow as hell. I was like, that's one time right there. But they were shooting like hella rocks. But we ain't doing shit anyway. But it just kind of put like the door since you said that. Because he recently told me, I'm like, why you ain't telling me? He was like, well, I've been meeting and running by you. But since we here talking, I just think I'll tell you now. But you know, persecution gonna come anyway, so they gonna do what they gonna do. It's all written.
They probably follow us all the way to AC.
They gotta be dumb as hell to do that.
They paid to be there. Even though we watch them.
Right.
Ultimately, you know, the men of the Lord, we don't have any fear in our hearts of Esau. Because we told you this is going to happen. The scriptures tell you. But at the same time, the Lord said, well, he's going to have a comment to that. Isaiah 59 and 19. We're in that time, bro. The Lord said he's going to make his men more precious than fine gold. He said, then shall they be known you are my chosen. So adversity must come first. When we go back into our history, they know this. They know the hell that it came even on the slave ship bringing us over here. They knew what we did. Okay? Singing the Negro spirit, so-called Negro spirituals and so on and so forth. Why do you think in their documentation what they're going to do in the so-called concentration camps? They said they're going to muzzle us. We can't pray, we can't chant, we can't hum, nothing. Why do you think that is? Because there's power behind the names we call YAHAWASHI, yeah, we're singing exactly. You know? So we're going to be good, man. This, remember, all this is the Lord setting up the pieces. To glory, his name is about to be glorified. Okay? Even John the Baptist has to be put to death. Scripture says what? John the Baptist said what? I must decrease, but he must increase. So we have to go through certain things. But the Lord said he's going to what? He's going to build up the nations, he's going to elect. And that's what you see around here. It's going to be men over here too. Okay? All of us, man. All right? So we're getting ready for spiritual war. And Esau, you're not ready, man. All right?
Quick testimony. When we was in B-Board, the state trooper rolled up on us, and all he did was want to pay tithes to us. Remember?
Oh yeah, R.J. Waters.
The brother rolled up on us, and we thought we was in trouble, but he was like, something about y'all made me want to stop and talk to y'all. And he saw us with the Bible open. I think that's what the key thing was. We was doing to sit down in the car on the way, and he stopped us. And he was like, he ain't say all praise due, but he was like exalting brothers, and he was like, matter of fact, yeah, those are
That happened in Elizabeth too. I don't know what brothers
Yeah.
was out there that Jake
Yeah, I was there.
jumped down and killed off.
Oh yeah. That happened a couple times.
Said Shalom and them, right? Yeah, that was that's what
Right. Yeah. That's just like a confirmation that brothers, know that there's something going on with the wave of us men that's doing what we do, and the Lord gonna send us a little, sometimes a little kudos, if I'm saying the right word, like, acknowledgement, like, y'all done,
but the good work.
we them boys.
That's why we're the main event. We're the main event. Israel is the main event. Israelites is the main event. That's the name that everybody's going to be talking about soon. That is why you have the Lord is taking the mirth out of the land. So everyone is going to focus on his hand working on his men. Okay? So Esau, you about to be in a trick bag and you don't even know what's coming. I was telling Bakar this the other day that y'all watch us. You're following us and all that, that's corny. We don't care. Okay? Because guess what? When you meet us in person, y'all respect us. How many times have we ran into a cop and they mad cordial? But then some of them be all like, act like they're watching us and like we doing something wrong. We ain't doing that wrong. So we don't care about you watching us. We know you watch us, listen to our conversation and all that, and you tremble when you hear the conversations that we have. You tremble because you're like, yo, these men actually ask about me. They live this, their life. They actually live this, like they talk this. They are these men that they say they are. You see? And you tremble about things that you know. What about the things that you don't know? Y'all ain't some deep shit, man. Y'all don't even know. Because we tremble when we think of the things that the Lord's about to do on this earth. So imagine y'all devils, man. Y'all in trouble. So let's keep it going. Let's go. Precept.
Jeremiah 15:11. The Lord said, verily it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction.
Go. There you go. And that's how you know the Lord's going to be working with us. Part of what? Then shall they be known you are my chosen. Okay? That he's going to make even our enemies be at peace with us, man. So we're not worried. We're doing the right thing by the Lord. The only one to be afraid of is who? YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI.
Right.
So if you fear the Lord and you say that you come in the name of the Lord, what evil could possibly come against you to break you down? If anything, it should be a little challenge to spark you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, hey, the Lord about to show his hand. Let's get it. Let's stand right in the forefront. Let's represent YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Because look at the world, man. Who else is here? Who else is here? You know?
Right. Continuing, right? So it says, the march and a demonstration that followed at the Barclays Center were organized by Israel United in Christ in solidarity with Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving, who was suspended for 8 games after he posted a link to an anti-Sem film on social media last month and then was slow to apologize. But IUIC has also used the controversy to promote its incendiary ideology and recruit new followers into what it calls God's army.
Incendiary basically means to incite or to get people hot, heated. And that's actually a something that Paul was, brothers will find it, Paul was accused of sedition.
Inciting a riot.
Inciting a riot. And although, then that's why you gotta shout out to the elders to watch, look up words, because they put up these certain words in these articles for a reason. You know, they use these words. Remember, you got the writer, then you got an editor. Somebody had asked you behind you to make sure, like, okay, let's edit this word out, put this word here. So they say that incendiary speech. Us coming out here and teaching the gospel of YAHAWASHI and YAHAWASHI, they call that incendiary, which is actually something that is technically against the law to do in America. If you are, that's why they even try to get Donald Trump with the whole January 6th thing, because he verbally didn't say go out there and storm it, but the words that he was speaking or how he was speaking, they were trying to use that to say that you incited a riot to happen on January 6th. And if they're able to president, which he was set up to be in that position, whatever, but they was able to make that look like that's a horrible thing to have somebody say certain things that make other people react. How much are they going to do for the prophets, man? Because anything that we're speaking of, it is going to light a fire in you. It is going to get you. It's going to get you hot. The Lord, Jeremiah said it. His words were to me like fire in my bones. You know. So this is supposed to get you hot, and the scriptures also said it. His words of fire in your mouth. These people are chaff. So the way that even the Lord spoke, he said it like he spoke in an incendiary verbiage. Right. But here it is in Babylon, and speaking about the gospel, and we doing this, they're going to use that to be against us, man. And that's why the Lord said it, to take no thought. You know, you can't really take a thought of what you're going to really say, because they're going to try to come at us with mad different angles. You may want to use words that you ain't never even heard before, right? Like incendiary. What I have the what are you talking about? You know, but you just gotta have the confidence in your mind, like, hey man, the Lord gonna YAHAWASHI is gonna speak through me to say what I need to say, man. I think
Jeremiah chapter 1, starting from verse 10, it says, see, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdom to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down and to build and to plant. Moreover, the word, that's pretty much it. Jeremiah was talking about how he couldn't speak for he was a child, and the Most High said that scripture says that he touched his mouth, and he told him that, look, I have set thee this day over the nations, and when you speak, you're gonna, uproot and throw down. And that's the same reference that Paul made later on. And he said that pulling down the strongholds. That's right. This word isn't something that's supposed to have a devastating effect on people's lives. So that's pretty much it.
It is. It's a fire. Because once it's sparked, it burns through. You see, and that's one thing Esau can't control. There's firefighters can't control this fire because there's fire from the Heavenly Father. The prelude before the coming destruction. So you can't do nothing against this truth, man. You can say the scripture says what? You can do nothing against this truth before this truth. You see what's happening. Over the past month, you see what's going on. It went from nobody's talking about Israel to now is in the forefront. Just like that, man. And we're talking about how the Lord could quickly turn this thing upside down within a week. Within 1 week, man, all it starts with one thing. It's just gonna spiral out of control, man, and it's gonna be all hell breaking loose, man. Come January, man, you're gonna see.
The attention is not going to be on Kyrie and Kanye no more. You know, they were just used, and as we were saying that, whether the Lord, ultimately it is the Lord that put it on him to do that, but whether it's Esau doing it or whether the Lord put the Spirit on him to do that, at the end of the day, it's really going to be a target toward us because Kyrie and Kanye are not men of the Lord. You know, and they're not really real threats to Esau either in his infrastructure. It's really the elect that may have heard or may have gone look, you know, about the Israelites because of what they said. And I believe the brother had that one scripture.
It's Acts 24, verse 5. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow, and a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes.
Exactly. So he's a pestilent fellow. When you go to the word pestilent, meaning what? He's unrelenting. He doesn't stop. He's out there week in, week out. Everywhere you see him over there. You go over there, there's a crowd over there. You go over there, of course he's there. You go over here, and this nigga here again. You know? And it's like, damn, like everyone is like, there was an account where there was a man who was in his window, and he was listening all night long, man. And he fell out, he knocked out, and boom, he was on the spirit world by the time he noticed it. And then Paul didn't go up to him. He finished what he had to say because the spirit was on him. And he went over there and woke him up from his sleep, man. Literally and figuratively. You see? So that bothered the Romans, man. That even bothered some of the Jews. Okay, just like this group bothers a lot of the 2/3 of our nation, man. And guess what? They're gonna be a part of the reason why we get sold out. Believe it or not. You got men who are in this truth that are gonna sell brothers out. Okay? You had it happen to our Lord YAHAWASHI. He was walking with Judas for 3 years. He knew it. He knew what garden, the favorite garden to be in. He knew exactly what time to go there. He knew who was gonna be there. So he planned everything out, man. You see? But the Lord had it happen that way to fulfill prophecy. Just like everything that's gonna happen from now on till the end is all to fulfill biblical prophecy. All right? Go ahead.
If you notice too, like the past, I guess twice or 3 times they try to demonize us, it's always around getting to the end of the year. They did the whole Covington thing, did the whole Jersey City shooting thing.
Now this one you can't really demonize. They're trying to create a narrative.
And they tried to give Esau an idea because the top of the article said how many Israelites are there. You know, so that it's hard for them to pull everybody to the forefront. You know, but just watching on YouTube and shit like that, or just trying to count camp members. They need to know how many actual believers there are, or potential believers. So if you would take a name-known celebrity and cause an uproar, all the believers will come to the forefront with saying something, flushing them out. So now you got an idea of a head count of what type of rebellion you actually dealing with. But that's carnal. You really going against YAHAWASHI and the angels. But you know what I'm saying? But Esau is really trying to flush out all the believers, anybody who tapped something the same, anybody who brought that Hebrew to Negroes, anybody who said, then he'd be like, oh, that's a believer. So he probably like, oh, that 144,000 mark is past that. So the 1/3, so that's why the devil won't come down with great wrath, knowing he had but what, a short time to flush out the believers about having these 2 celebrities that may cause a stir and cause an uproar.
Hold on, Salaki. I know brother's trying to say something. We're trying to get through this talk. Salaki. I was going to say that
So continue what it says here. After the demonstration, the second held by IUIC outside of the Barclays Arena this month, the group's founder posted a message on his Twitter account. We are not here for violence. Bishop Nathaniel Ben Israel wrote, we are here for the spiritual war. Before 2019, those American Jews who were even aware of the once obscure Black Hebrew Israelite spiritual movement likely associated it with the loud but non-violent street preachers who would harangue pedestrians in city centers. In December, that's a better
Oh, a lengthy and aggressive speech.
It says a public address or passionate address.
Okay, so they were saying that originally we would just be non-violent, but we would just be addressing people with passion on the passion. Yeah, the beginning of 2019.
Back to how it used to be, because now we don't really do that. People don't really come out like that.
Right. And now they're gonna say, so this is what we used to be, right? And it says here, in December of that year, however, extremists professing Israelite beliefs attacked a kosher grocery store in Jersey City, New Jersey, and a Hanukkah party in Monsey, New York. 2 Jews were killed in Jersey City, and a 72-year-old rabbi was stabbed in the head in Monsey, died from his injuries 3 months later. It says, with the memory of those attacks still fresh, and against the backdrop of a surge this fall in public expressions of anti-Sem, combined with threats of violence against Jewish communities emanating from other extremist corners, the militant posturing of IUIC has alarmed many Jews already on edge. Rabbi Mordecai Lightstone of Crown Heights observed on Twitter that the Israelites who regularly preach near his home on Shabbat have been particularly aggressive of late, heaping verbal abuse on both him and his children. On Sunday afternoon, Lightstone posted a video of IUIC members assembling for their march and rehearsing their chants in Grand Army Plaza. Terrifying, commented Elishev Rishon, a black and Jewish fashion designer who blames Hebrew Israelites for inflaming tensions between the two communities to which she belongs. A few Twitter users compared the march of the to the 2017 far-right rally in Charlottesville, at which participants chanted, "Jews will not replace us." It says, the recent IUIC rallies give the impression that the radical wing of the Hebrew Israelite movement is large and riled up. Meanwhile, recent comments by Kanye West, the rapper, who now goes by Ye, and Irving that align with elements of Hebrew Israelite doctrine suggest the movement has broad supporters among powerful black celebrities. How big is the movement in reality? What percentage are extremists who assail Jews as imposters who stole their heritage from them? And if black Israelism has entered the marketplace of mainstream religions in the United States, should Jews be concerned? Black Israelism.
Israelism. Who uses that term? Israelism.
Hebrewism. So it says here, then they go to the statistics. It says most respondents, 62%. This is after they mentioned they surveyed black community, right? It says most respondents, 62%, said they were not familiar with the teachings of Israelites. But 19% said they agreed with most of the core ideas taught by black Hebrew Israelites. And 4% said they considered themselves Hebrew Israelites. The remaining 15 said they either firmly oppose the teachings or disagree with most of them. The survey did not specify what those teachings are. The 2020 U.S. Census put the black population at 41.1 million. So,
Bro, look at how they're doing the numbering of Israelites. Like they're literally trying to figure out how many. Hey, that goes into even when was that Augustus? Was that Augustus Caesar that expelled the Jews? Claudius. Yeah. But in order to do that, you have to know your population, where they at, like all that. Esau was reading something like he does a diligent search. It's mainly on you. It's mainly on you Israelites, man. Like for them to know, he said they put the percentage at this, and he got 62%. Like, yo, you going there right now?
everybody 41.4 too. Look at those numbers.
dark-skinned Jakes.
They got something for that too. They got something for that too.
This information went viral. So we got Jakes in different countries that woke up like, yo, what's this? Yo, you heard about Kanye talking about the Israelite? I've been talking about Israelite for a minute. Now they waking up to it. So you just counting Jake over here, but what about Latin America? What about Europe? What about Africa? What about Asia? You don't know that Jake is waking up through this whole controversy? You got Chinese looking Jakes waking up through this controversy, man. So you're in trouble. How do you gonna fight against this?
So it's like real quick, somebody had posted this when this was all going on in Japan. This was a flyer in Japan. It was like they even made it to Japan, the Hebrew Israelites.
The whole thing that gets me is why haven't they addressed that they're saying that they're not the real Jews? Why haven't they addressed that? That's the major point. They're saying you're not the real Jew. You have never. You had the fake Jews that said that the blacks are the real Jews, whatever. But like they don't really that article that whoever wrote that and he just skipped right past that. Like he said, yeah, they're saying that we're not the real Jews. But like, all right, so you gonna address that? Like, give you some proof that you are the real Jews. You know what I'm saying? BS.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that in my country, Colombia, I seen they have a camp now too in Bogota. And that's what my grandfather was doing. So I was like surprised. I had to subscribe Shalom. And I'm not even that fluent in Spanish.
You got to go out there and visit them.
Yeah, I'm like, but Asher's coming out, all the tribes. And that was happening before Kyrie and Kanye said a word. So the truth already went out throughout the four corners. Esau's just using subversion tactics to try to coerce the truth and, you know, try to guide it. But you can't control it because really everything he's doing is backfiring on his ass anyway.
Gary, you know, it says the 2020 U.S. Census put the black population at 41.1 million. So, extrapolating from the Lifeway data, there are approximately 1.6 million Hebrew Israelites in the U.S., not counting the small number of Latinos and Native Americans who also belong to Israelite groups, and 7.8 million people who may not identify as Israelites or who agree with the spiritual movement's main teachings.
So they said it's over a million, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, so so the LA gotta be selling. 144,000 gotta be We gotta be out of here soon.
And that's in the U.S.
So that's only in the U.S. And that's not even counting about the ones that's in the spirit world. Exactly. Oh, you done these songs. You done lost. You done did the math for us. Thank you.
And you know, spiritual, Yahawashi said the gospel is going to be preached throughout all the earth, and then shall the end come. But then he told us what the end is, and the part of the end is the persecution. So we know the gospel is already throughout because we already seen the end. So now let's get into the interesting part. It says, for lots of these people, the attention that West and Irving have brought to their beliefs.
It's like it. Now, if they know that there is Israelites that are not so-called black, why are they still calling it black Hebrew Israelites? They already know the doctrine. Clearly they know that this goes throughout the four corners of the earth. So why are you still only calling the black Hebrew Israelites? Black. That's a question.
And during COVID, they C-19, whatever, they said black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. When they was confirming like the numbers of it, they used those three categories.
In that specific way too.
Yeah.
So it says here, for lots of these people, the attention that West and Irving have brought to their belief system has been validating. Israelism is becoming part, this is in quotes.
How did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Yo, how did just, like, you never heard not one prophet say, oh, this is the Israelism. Well, we Israelism. That's like trying to add Muslims and Islam. Like, come on, bro. Disrespect.
That goes to show you that Esau is really the devil. He proves that he's a devil. Because how you gonna forcefully label someone something they don't even call themselves? Like that's like us calling you Edomites. You're like, we're not Edomites. We're not Edomites. No, you are Edomites. You call us Black Hebrew Israelites. Right. You say something known as Black Hebrew Israelism. When have you ever, like the elder said, we never came out and proclaimed that we are Black Hebrew Israelites. But yet, still again, you keep on calling us. And one thing I noticed online, I seen a lot of Jakes who are doing videos to do this whole kind of thing for the Kyrie stuff. They're doing videos and they're like, yo, wait a minute. Why they keep calling them Black Hebrew Israelites if they're saying that they're not, this consists of Latinos, Native Americans, they ain't dark skin.
You know, Tank the singer. I don't know. Okay, well, Tank, brothers know who Tank is. He
Baby, I
commented.
deserve.
Yeah, he commented on the whole thing that was going on with Kyrie, and because the headline said Black Hebrew Israelites out there, and he commented, it was like, just call them Hebrew Israelites.
Right, yeah. That's on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was on Instagram, but it made its way to Twitter.
Okay.
He said, just call them Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, and I'm like,
So
that's another famous celebrity. He's a singer right there, so they know, man.
No one is taking Esau's narratives no more because they've seen what you do. Jacob, you see what this truth is doing is bringing Big Jake back to recollecting what the fuck happened in the history past. What happened in the past? What happened in history? Shit, yo, what you guys are saying is true. Yo, you're right. Yo, we are the people. So that's empowering Jake. And then you got the Charleston Whites, you know, the 2/3 that represent those who won't be destroyed. But you also have others, the other people who are in the back, like, yo, y'all got the truth. Yo, I believe what y'all saying. They might not come to the forefront, but very soon they will.
Men of reputation.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Quick. Isaiah 32:6. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Yeah, Esau. Isaiah 32:6. Yeah, so he's practicing hypocrisy, uttering error against the Lord. And he's trying to make the soul of the hungry, which is Jake seeking out the word, really. Trying to stop, cut it off. Because now you see IUIC, and that's Christ. It's not YAHAWASHI.
Yeah, I'm about to say, speaking of.
There you go. The wild person is right there walking down the street.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, man. It's the Lord's definitely. Hey, that goes to show you that this got to be the truth because literally everything the Lord said is exactly what we're seeing happen.
Right. Yep.
There's no room for doubt. You know, and that means what? Everything else the Lord said is going to happen.
Right.
You know, so.
Galatians chapter 2, verse 2.
It says, and I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that gospel which I preached among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, lest by any means I should run or had run in vain. So, hey, but even Paul, he preached to certain people that were known privately because of the reputation that they had. So that's why you have certain celebrities that know the truth that we say, that watch us, but they can't, you know, come out and openly say it because of their reputation. And that's what happened with Kyrie. You know, even though he's mixed up in a whole bunch of BS, he obviously came across the Hebrew Israelites channels. Because when you read a book, you didn't learn about this heritage just by reading Hebrews and Negroes. Because that shit is just completely a lot of bones in that meat. So when you read about these things, if you read from Babylon to Timbuktu, Hebrews and Negroes, you read these other, the other one I had too? The slave, it was one with the dude had his back beat. Yeah, I forgot what that was called.
The Promised Land, I think.
Promise is something like that. When you read those things, it's going to intrigue you to go further into finding out. And then you're always going to come across the prophets, man, because that is something that's current. That's something that's happening right now. You go on YouTube, you go down any major city, you're going to see the prophets out there. Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, New York. So you're going to come across it, and then you're going to inquire more and more and more. But because of their reputation, they can't go that far into verbalizing exactly what they believe. Right. And that's why the Lord said He ain't set up many noble.
Right.
You know, because they can't do this. Yeah. You know, they can't.
So it says here, Israelism is becoming part of the plausibility structure of Black America. Christian activist and author Vocab Malone told the Jewish Telegraph Agency, referring to a social context in which certain ideas are considered credible. The suspicions that a lot of folks have toward the Jewish community, they think they're vindicated now. Scott McConnell, Lifeway's executive director, told JTA that the survey sponsor, the Christian Zionist organization Philos Project, supplied the question about Hebrew Israelite teachings. Asked if there are plans to include similar.
Can you run that paragraph back?
The vocab or this one?
This okay, yes.
So it says Israelism is becoming part of the plausibility structure of Black America.
Go into the word plausibility about yourself. Because you're saying that the truth is like, we gotta remember, we can't use their words. But we know it is. So the gospel is becoming part of the plausibility structure.
Okay, so we got Google online. Google says the quality of seeming reasonable or probable.
Validity, the quality of credibility, praise or acceptance.
So they're saying that the truth is now becoming a part of something that is accepted in Black America. So this is a part of the found. Remember, it was said what? I think I set the apostles last. I can pull it up. First Corinthians 4. He said the apostles last. So the brother was just saying, this is right here is really to give the true believers joy, because although we know what's going to come, we know what's coming after this. Right. And if the Lord is having this happen, and we're seeing it play literally line by line, precept upon precept, the prophecies are coming up, then we know that ultimately that means a kingdom. That means immortality. That means a dominion. That's what we got to be focused on, because it's going to suck, right? What's going to happen in front of you is going to suck. But as Peter said, you got to look afar off, because the one that can look afar off, those are the ones that's going to be able to endure. You got it?
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that God has set for us the apostles last, as it were appointed to death.
And that's what it's going to look like. He said, set us as if it was appointed to death. Because the way that this devil's going to come down, it's not, and then we got to be a physical killing. It could be you're killing your character, defamation of character. You know, when you go into that same scripture, I forgot exactly what translation I read it on, but back in the ancient world, they would consider that we should be like a spectacle. When they would capture their enemies, before that they would kill them in Rome, they would parade them down the main street, and they would like basically make a mockery out of him, leading him up to the gallows to where he's going to get hung.
So it'd be, what? Say it again?
Like YAHAWASHI.
Yeah, basically like YAHAWASHI. So
In Rome, they would do that on the
main street of Rome is right next.
I remember I went there. It's right next to the Colosseum. They would basically parade their enemies, like maybe it'd be like the chief or the commander or whoever it is. They would parade them down, have them on like a big balloon, like how they do like in Macy's parade. They'll have them like on that shit, and they like have people boo at them and like do all that, make a spectacle, and then they'll go kill them. And that's what this devil is doing, is going to set up to try to do to us. You know, make us a spectacle, make us look laughed at, make us look crazy in front of everybody, and then lead us to that death. But as the Lord said, that what? This enemy comes like a flood, man. So that's what we always got to have in our mind. Like the slander's going to happen, it's going to look bad. And that's why it says, as they were appointed unto death. But understand that, hey, our Redeemer is strong, man.
For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men.
World, angels, and to men. Because hey, even the angels are looking at this. So that First Peter, they're looking on to the things that basically that we're going through right now, man. Hey, Lord willing, we are those men. This position in the Lord's movie, nobody else had this position.
That's the best position.
Yeah, but it seems bad, but it's just like, because you got the angels, right, that has never came into the flesh, like that never had to go through this. And it's like, it would seem good to be like one, like be a Michael or be a Uriel. But it's like, they're looking at us like, nah, y'all got to experience like something crazy, like, and then y'all get dominion over other nations. Like, they don't got dominion over, yeah, right. They don't got dominion over nations, you know, and things like that. Huh? Yeah. So it's like, we're a spectacle even unto them. They're watching the Lord's movie like, yo, man, those are the elect. They did it. They went through that whole thing. They went through your whole thing, and they stand firm to the end.
So, as you said, those who stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. And these angels, they with YAHAWASHI. And YAHAWASHI came and lived the life of a man. And they know how hard it is. So they're like, damn, like he went through, hey, YAHAWASHI went through this. So that's how he's able to give you guys strength to keep on going. You know, angels watch us. We always give an example. They're passing by. What do you think they be doing? Why do you think birds seeing angel chariots all of a sudden like that? Because they're passing saying shalom. Just like how we say, hey, shalom, hey, they do the same thing, man.
Sometimes they flash.
They flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brothers like, hey,
And then
do
they'll
that
dim out.
bling,
Yeah.
bling, yeah.
And then they'll go and then they'll just dim out, man. You know, it happens all the time because angels are excited when they see us. They crack jokes just like we do. You know what I'm saying? They see, hey, look at that brother out there. That brother, hey, oh, you on fire, bro. Hey, you know, hey, shalom, though. And then we on to the next one.
Hey,
You know?
Since actually in Richard Rome, the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 1, it says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in YAHAWASHI, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. Now, bro, because you said that when all the demonization comes and all that, like that, we don't got to worry about it because the Lord already said we're going to come, but there's no condemnation. Like, don't think of that as your downfall. That's Esau's downfall to making that spectacle of you. And that's when the Lord is going to come and deliver his elect.
Hebrews 1 verse 6 says, and again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, and let all the angels of the Most High worship him. And of the angels, he said, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. But unto the Son he said, thy throne, O power, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. So the angels are what? Ministers of flame of fire. That's why when the angels came, they always came with a purpose, either to deliver, to give a message. You know, when what they did with Peter and Paul, well, Peter, I think specifically, they literally delivered him out of jail. You know, and that was a service that they did to Peter.
Quick.
Psalms 34:7. The angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them.
I'd be in trouble.
And when you look into that word angel, when you look into that word angel, it's malak. It's really done with YAHAWASHI. And from YAHAWASHI, the angels come. Anyway, so he's
legion.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so there's some more in here. So it says here, we're reading that part again. It says, Israelism is becoming part of the plausibility structure of Black America. Christian activist and author Vocab Malone told the Jewish Telegraph Agency.
Now, this is the times of Israel. Talking about Vocab Malone. Now, I remember the Elder Yashwamba used to always say, but he was like, he's gonna get attention. He's gonna get put on to the mainstream media to where all of these different data points that he's been pulling up and all these different talking points that he's been having for all of these years, it wasn't just for his platform. And it wasn't just for the small little couple thousand people that may watch him and watch the quote unquote feud between the Hebrew Israelites and Vocab. Nah. He is used for a way bigger purpose, man. All of this data, all of this analysis, we gonna come with all these papers and like, oh, this is my time that I've been doing, researching them on Fox News. If it's on the Times of Israel, then you know it's gonna get to mainstream media soon. He gonna be on Fox News, CBS, because they're the same people that own the shit. It's the same people, the same 6, 7, 8, 10 Adumi Khalibs that own these things, man. So for them to bring him out, his name out of here, then you know we're close, man.
Yeah, it's like the Israelite handle.
He's like Hammond.
It's like if anybody ever seen the show Money Heist, there's this guy. This
with the Amalekite with the glasses.
Yeah. Is that the one? Okay, well, Arturo, the annoying ass dude, yeah. He was basically like that, like Vocab. When we got let out, he was out here giving talk shows. I've been with them. And these guys are just absolute monsters. You know?
He says he's the expert, right? Yeah. So he's the expert, and you see all of the talking points that he comes with, all of them, and he's always getting debunked. Every time he's getting defeated, but yeah, he still keeps going and going.
Exactly. Why is that? Yep. So it says here, the suspicions that a lot of folks have toward the Jewish community, they think they're vindicated now.
That's what he said. Yep. Is that a quote from him?
Yep.
They think they're vindicated now.
So it says Scott McConnell, Lifeway's executive director, told JTA that the survey's sponsor, the Christian Zionist Organization Fellows Project, supplied the question about Hebrew Israelite teachings. Asked if there are plans to include similar questions in future surveys, he he replied, I know there are some pastors at African American churches that have concerns about some of their parishioners being led astray by the teachings of the Hebrew Israelites.
I don't know if you want to say something.
Oh yeah, the 501c3 people are gonna be mad about this one. Because guess what? This is the same thing that they were saying when we were back in Rome. I mean, back during the Roman Empire. Okay, it was the same thing. Oh, if we keep on letting them teach in the name of YAHAWASHI, then the Romans gonna come against us. You know, they're worried about people leaving their churches because of this truth. Okay,
and who's that going to make more people? That's going to even put now make us enemies of so-called the black church and those people that are in there now. Damn near everybody got family that goes to church, you know. So now that in their mind they're going to say, oh, see, they're not even just against the ish, they're even against the black Christian church. When, as we've always been saying, that Christian plantation Christianity, that's a part of this beast's ideologies, part of his wine that got our people drunk. You know, and all of these different wines ultimately was to keep us astray from who we really are. And now that that's being brought to the forefront. Now it's a problem because they use all these different resources, all these different people paid for lies to keep us blinded. But hey, Isaiah 14:1, the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. And we are, Lord willing, the elect that the remnant that the Lord was going to save, man. But he's going to make the remnant, what is that in, if I can pull that up real quick, in Revelation 12th chapter, verse 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High and had the testimony of YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. And that's who this devil's about to make war with. It says the remnant, and that's who the Lord says he's going to save, the remnant of Jacob. So we're seeing all of this right here. This is a part of the roughness. Now Esau don't gotta just come out like a madman with this roughness. He gonna set up the stage first. He gonna have his people, Rokad and all these people that give you a laundry list of reasons why we're the wicked, why we're evil, why we should be taken out of society. And then whoever falls into that trap, they're gonna be they're gonna feel more justified because a lot of people are gonna believe it.
So we could expect to see Geno Jennings come up very soon because it's talking about parishes, people in parishes, churches.
DJ. So you don't see why these people are so famous and got so much money now. You thought it was just because God blessed them, and the God of this world blessed them, and He about to activate them. Oh no, TD, we need you to start. We need to make a mention of these Hebrew Israelites now. Hey, call up Creflo. Yeah, we get Creflo on there. Matter of fact, let's get them all together in one big convention, and they won't talk about it.
So we about to enter into the time of mad false prophets popping up. And now all of a sudden everybody is a Bible expert. Let's debunk the Hebrew Israelites. That's why we're going to see a lot more. And now it all makes sense why IUIC was going against Apostle Geno Jennings a few months ago back in the summertime. They were going to churches, going back and forth. This is all going to play a role in that, man. The same IUIC back again when there's controversy. So we're going to see how the Lord plays this out.
So it goes on, it says here, Malone, who uses an alias in keeping with hip-hop culture, is a close observer of the Israelite world.
They had to put that in.
That's it.
They're a close observer. What is that? That's a spy. That's a damn spy.
Yeah. It says the Phoenix resident frequently engages in debates on the street and online with members of groups described as hateful by the Southern Poverty Law Center, including IUIC, Israelite School of Universal Practice, or Practical Knowledges, ISUPK, ICGJC, and the Sakari, in hopes of convincing them to follow what he considers to be the true path of Christianity. Founded in 2003, IUIC has proven the most adept in creating public spectacles and garnering media coverage. The group operates 71 U.S. chapters and 20 international ones. According to the
I didn't get
that much, right?
Yo, I didn't get that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You got the elders sometimes be like, oh, we got to camp out there. It's hard to keep up. And that ain't as big as that. Like, how you, yo, that's these numbers, yo. But that goes to show you also why, now when you think about it, because IUIC, you got to give them your social. Yeah, you gotta give your social to be a member of IUIC. So now they going to show you that ain't no real church. That ain't a real church. Because for them to have those numbers like that, that means you gotta actually be in the system.
Yep.
Yeah, tracking that shit.
Yep. It says here, according to the Anti-Defamation League, it says, and it holds men's conferences each year that culminate in choreographed marches on city streets, like the one on Sunday in Brooklyn. Based on the size of those marches, Malone estimated that national membership has grown from around 5,000 in 2015 to around 10,000 today.
Hey, you said Malone said that. And that also once again shows you that he's not working alone. Because that's too much information just for him and that fat chick that he's with and other nigga, for them to get that information. You need a lot of backing and monetary support to be able to get this much data research, man.
Travel all over that.
You need to be supported.
Back a few months ago, I think it was you that was telling about how vocab is being used by the feds because he's doing what they wish they could do. They can't physically come up. You can't have an FBI car just pull up out in the open, come up and ask questions and interrogate us like that. It's not going to happen because then you're pushing a certain narrative that is going to expose what you're really trying to do. So they send guys like vocab to come up and act like a decoy, basically. You know, like, oh, hey, I'm just trying to prove why. You know, you guys are saying that to the Israelites, but really you're not. That's always what he goes back to. Oh yeah, the Israelites are like, that can't be just the Israelites. The Gentiles. It's always back to that Gentiles thing because his job is get them engaged so we can get more intel. Get them engaged so we can get more intel. Plus, we're not violent. When has vocab ever came up to any camp and he got beat up? Like he's supposed to get beat up. But soon, guess what? The angel's gonna take care of that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I was telling, was it you that I was telling? That I had a dream that he was getting plagued. Yeah, he got sick, man. Vocab got super sick. You know, he would try to come up and say things, but then you could tell he got skinny, and the Lord was plaguing him, man. He was having nightmares, man. Yeah, nightmares, man. Yeah, man. Nightmares. To the point where he was like, I'm being dreaded where I'm to the point of death. You know, and very soon he's gonna come out and confess that shit.
Right? Ecclesiasticus 40, verse 3. It says, from him that sitteth on the throne of glory unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes, from him that weareth purple and a crown, unto him that is clothed with a linen frock, wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep, do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep. As in a day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle. When all is safe, he awaketh and marveled that the fear was nothing. Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Ecclesiastes 40, 43, 3-6. So it goes to show you that we've been saying that these elites, they watch us, and they're getting plagued, man. Vocab alone, he be getting plagued. And his scripture tells you 7 times more. When you get, AKA, when you said nightmares, you know, the nightmares that we be getting is not getting beat up. So you can only imagine the nightmares the Lord be giving them. like, come on, man. 7 times more upon sinners, man. So we know that y'all watch, and that's why it says that they can't go to sleep without doing a little bit of wickedness. Because the wickedness to them is like soothing. That's how perverse you are. So you feel better, like how a brother, if you haven't done a video, if you feel it on you can't go to sleep until you do a video, and then you feel that rest. Well, it's like the opposite for this devil. He can't go to sleep until he does wickedness, and then he feel that rest, but then he gets plagued 7 times. Then you get plagued with your nightmares about you know, your kingdom being taken from you. You get in slavery, you wake up in cold sweats, and then you go right back to doing wickedness. Because you're like, nah, I can't let this happen. It's like a revolving cycle for your ass, man. Yep, that's it too.
So going on, it says other radical groups likely have much smaller memberships, but don't share any figures, preferring to play their cards close to their chest, Malone said.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
Exactly.
The ones that really
about? Right.
It says these estimates suggest that the extremists comprise a very small percentage of the 1.6 Hebrew Israelites living in the United States. Ultimately, IUIC has a goal of recruiting 144,000 Black, Latino, and Native American people who will be spared by God during the end times. Right.
Come through you.
Exactly. It says, as we're told in the book of Revelation, in order to achieve this goal, the group sends representatives to proselytize overseas, including in parts of Africa and the Caribbean. IUIC did not respond to requests for comment from JTA. Both the Southern Poverty Law Center and the ADL monitor the activities of IUIC and other radical camps, as Israelites call their groups. Right? It says, however, camps.
Oh, camps.
Camps, yeah. However, spokespeople for both organizations told JTA they do not know how many people belong to these camps. And we have the section, an online movement. What is clear is that the camps have greatly expanded their reach in recent years, taking their message from the street corners to the entire globe. What's that?
This coming from the devil's mouth himself. So guess what? Prophecy's being fulfilled, and you devils have no choice but to admit it. That's right. All right, it's over with, man. Hey, beautiful.
They said they tongues won't confess against them with their own tongue.
It's Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Right.
Hey, no, back.
This word,
God. Just the preset, the match that. This Baruch 4 and 36. O Jerusalem, look about thee towards the east, and behold the joy that cometh to thee from the Lord Yahawah. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou hast sent away, and come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of YAHAWASHI.
I got another piece. Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 40, yeah. Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 40. Take thy number, O Sion, and shut up those of thine heart, of thine that are clothed with white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. Hey, that's that elect, and that's why Second Ezra 41, Second Ezra 2 and 40 and 41. Hey, that's why it's really just all about the elect, man. Because the Lord said that from the beginning, man. Okay, from the foundation of the earth, these particular men and women were going to walk that straight gate and strive all the way up into the end, man, and go into the end. The Lord gave them that spirit to be able to do that, man, and that's why you need the spirit of Yahawah about you. That's why you need the names, man, because it's really only going to be by way of calling upon those names, believing in those names, that you're going to have the ability, the strength, the energy to be able to endure to the end. You know?
Yeah, and that goes to show you how precious the elect are to Heavenly Father himself. He's had to send his only begotten Son to come and redeem us so we don't get destroyed by him. And this time he's going to come back to deliver the elect. That's the main reason why YAHAWASHI is coming back. For the elect. Not for the rest of the people. For the elect, man. Now I'm going to send my son down to come and sacrifice himself for the elect. That's how much I love him. So much so, I'm going to sacrifice my own son. That's how much special we are to the Lord, bro. So you think he's going to let Esau touch us? You think he's going to let any other nation touch us? If we were able to go through slavery, go through all these generation after generation after generation, look at the men of old. Look at Daniel. Look at all these men that served the Lord. How did the Lord protect them in the time of our captivity? He's doing the same thing till now. You don't think he's going to continue till the end? Like he said in Revelation 3 and 10, that he's going to keep us in the hour of temptation? So we're not afraid of Esau, man. You see, we're not afraid of you. If anything, we're telling you, bring it on, so you can see the power of the Lord, man. Something you must have forgotten.
Right. Now, I'm gonna say that's why that's so like Kyrie Irving and Kanye West, they're not really men of the Lord, because not one of these celebrities that mentioned the name YAHAWASHI. That's the essence of this truth. It's about the Lord's name, not about Hebrew the Negroes and all that dumb shit. Oh, I know we're the Jews. It's about YAHAWASHI. They're the forefront of this, man. So if you not mention those names, then you have no place in this truth and in the sincerity.
And that's why, so far, as you're reading this article, they did not mention anyone who's brought up the name YAHAWASHI. All these groups they mentioned, they're all talking about Christ issues.
Sakari.
The only Sakari, but they're low key radical.
Right.
They love it. They not even low key. They high key. You know what I'm saying? You come to camp teaching the word. You got a Bible and a gun next to you. Like, what the fuck guns that? Like,
Full of boys.
Full of boys.
You got the spiritual. Yeah, it's crazy, man. You know, they pull up with the sword and a sword. Like, they got the spiritual.
I got the sword and the sword. What you want to do?
Revelation 11 and 11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Great fear. As they go ahead, brother. Yeah, the elect being raised up. After a certain point in time, the Lord, which that 3 days and a half, 350 years, our forefathers in the truth were awakened. And now, all the way trickling down to us, that great army that the Lord, the spiritual army of the elect is raised up, and that great fear is coming. But now that's why they got to do this, do that, set up vocab, set up this one, set up that one. It's all going to fail, man.
Okay. So it says here, what is clear is that the camps have greatly expanded their reach in recent years, taking their message from street corners to the entire globe, thanks to the internet and social media. IUIC members run dozens of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts where they post a constant stream of videos and memes, many containing anti-Semitic quotes. One recent Instagram post shows a startled-looking Hasidic Jew, or Ishman, holding his hat above the words, "the synagogue of Satan." Louis Farrakhan, the leader of the Nation of Islam, uses similar language about Jews. A video he recorded this month defending West and Irving has been viewed millions of times. The main IUIC YouTube channel, @IUIC in the Classroom, has 126,000 subscribers and 29.4 million video views. Oh yeah,
We went to the analytics.
they went all the way there. A series of videos posted 3 years ago on the channel of local chapters provide some insight into how members hear about IUIC and why they join. The most common way these members say they found their way to the camp was via videos they watched online.
Now, right there, that right there is heavy, because if they're calling this a problem, and they're saying that this problem, remember, incendiary, right? And they're saying that this problem is spreading mainly by online, what is that going to do? They're going to have to say, well, you know what, in order to stop this from happening, we got to stop them from being able to post videos online, which is going into what? The famine of the word. Hearing. The hearing of the famine of the word. Because that's where it's heard at the most. Oh, they can go into the headline, because I did a video on that, but you can read that headline.
I just want to read the caption. It says, Facebook removing religious, political views and interested in from user bios from
their profile.
Yeah,
So,
profile,
like,
yeah.
on Facebook, you have your profile, you can put your status, whether you're married or single, you can put your religious background, you can put what you're interested in, men, women, etc. But they're removing that part from your profiles now. So you can't put your religious views or your political views on social media, on Facebook anymore. which goes into them, you know, basically trying to do away with anybody having any type of religion.
Right.
You know, first Maccabees.
Right, yep.
All just be one people.
Yep.
That's what Esau wants. He just wants you to be.
Worship him.
He wants you to be just in technology, in a metaverse.
Yeah.
Hey, there's no such thing as Christian or Jew. Nah, we're just people.
Yes.
We're techno humans.
Oh, look at the weirdo right there. Crossing the street.
Hell is hell.
Hey, that's opening the door for them to bring in that new world religion. Because now you got the Catholic Pope talking about you're going to bring the New Testament.
Oh yeah, they went to Mount Sinai.
Yeah, so now they want to do away with everyone's religious, and it's part of their agenda. They said what? They're going to do away with any religion, right? And then they're going to bring in that new world religion, which is going to be the same.
Climate change.
Climate change, yeah, based on that shit. So that's, hey, anyway, anytime you see a government or people say we're going to do away with religion, that should tell you how satanic they really are, man. Because when you think of religion, you think of what? The Bible and things of that nature. You see? So if they say we're going to do away with it, that should let you know that we're living in a very satanic world. Where they can allow our children to do after-school satanic programs, but yet you can't have your religious affiliation on your Facebook. I mean, that should tell you what you need to know about where America is and where it's headed to, man.
Bringing drags into churches.
Yeah,
so everything's being co-mingled. Everything is just Babylon. Everything is just, it's all together now. Yep, it's gonna happen quick. It's gonna happen quick, man. There'll be no flesh saved if he did it.
So going on, it says the most common way these members say they found their way to the camp was via videos they watched online. Prior to actually coming to IUIC, I did do some Israelite window shopping. Recounts Officer Joshua of IUIC, Tallahassee. It says, I always question myself, why is it that our people are blind? How come we get the worst jobs and so forth? I knew Christianity wasn't answering my questions, so what I did was I just started soul searching. Now jumping down, it says, a number of black male celebrities have also been drawn into the wider Israelite orbit in recent years, including rappers Kendrick Lamar and Kodak Black, TV host Nick Cannon, boxer Floyd Mayweather, and retired NBA player Amari Stoudemire. Some of these celebrities appear to have been exposed to like it's an infection. Exposed to Israelite teachings by relatives and other acquaintances. Lamar, who famously rapped, I'm an Israelite, don't call me black anymore, on the 2017 song, learned about Israelism from a cousin who was involved with IUIC. Black began identifying as a Levite in 2017 after studying scripture with an Israelite priest while serving a jail sentence in Florida. Stoudemire has said his mother taught him he had Hebraic roots. He officially converted to Judaism in 2020, a step most Israelites reject because it contradicts their claims of already being authentic Jews. Isabel Williams, an analyst at ADL Center.
This is how you know. Because like you bringing out information that is actually stuff that's like good. It's validated. So it's just like it'll be the best thing for you to do is just not even just to completely ignore it. But you can't do that.
Hey, the lady said, she said you have two choices. Either they stop it, and that's going to prove that this is true, or they could just leave it and take over the whole world.
Right.
So they need to find a medium.
Right.
And the medium is what?
They said you can't stop it. You can only just hope to contain it. Right. Hope to contain it.
Wait, we said the medium is what?
The medium is to what? It's to basically destroy the platform that they use to speak. That's what the lady was saying. That if we give them the platform, then they're going to be able to use it to push their narrative, so to speak. In other words, the platform is what? The internet. So they're going to police the internet. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're tying a lot of these so-called violent acts to the internet. They say, oh, he has social media, his social media platform was saying this. It's always like, okay, now there's a shooting. Every time there's a so-called mass shooting, they got to go into, his social media. He was doing this. Look at his social media platform. Because they want to tie it in there, man. Okay, because that's what they say, that this truth really sprung out because of the internet. A lot of people woke up to this truth because of the internet, man. Okay?
It says here, Isabel Williams, an analyst at ADL Center on Extremism who tracks radical Israelite camps. said celebrity endorsements of the ideology can have a big impact because they come from figures who are widely respected. If people came upon an extremist black Hebrew Israelite group street preaching, it might be easier to dismiss it and recognize the extreme ideology behind it, she said. But when it's being shared by these influential figures, people might be less likely to recognize the really insidious ideology and dangerous anti-Semitic.
Scary movie. Insidious.
It says, and dangerous anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that are behind these statements. Williams added that a range of extremist groups have seized on comments made by West and Irving. It's not just BHI and NOI groups that are leveraging this movement, Williams said. We've seen white supremacists who are also using this recent attention and circulation of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories to promote their own agenda. Let's jump down to the
See, to make it seem like being an Israelite, we're coming against just so-called Jewish people. We coming at everybody else, man. The Lord said He made us prophets unto the nations. So everybody's getting that work, man, because we got people, our people who are in these other nations, they got to get rebuked too. But see, the reason why we come at you small hats so much is because you stole our identity. That's a direct thing. You can't directly at the nation of Israel by stealing our identity. You did that. That's history and that's facts. That can be proven. Okay? And the reason why you guys are probably scared is because Jake is doing what you people don't want them to do. They're reading the Bible and they're understanding it based on the teachings of the prophets. So you have a problem with that. If Jake was still reading the Bible how you told him back in plantation Christianity, you wouldn't have a problem with this. But now they're reading it and they're saying, oh shit, the Israelites, this is us. This is who we are. This is our heritage. This is our nationality. This goes back to our people. We are these people. The curses fit us. When they're reading these things, they're like, damn, that makes sense. Why do you think Kyrie would say, I was looking back at, where my name goes back to? I ended up being, stumbling across Hebrews to Negroes, or whatever the title of the book is, the movie, whatever it is. All right? Because what? They're doing the research. Because why? It's the Spirit of the Lord. It's all prophecy. The Lord said in the last days, His people going to wake up. Whether they're 2/3 or part of the elect, they're still going to wake up. Okay? That's the difference right there. The elect going to make it, 2/3 or not. Period. All right?
All right, it's almost done. They got some very good stuff here. It says here, how this awakening will affect Jews and establish ish communities remains to be seen.
He said how this awakening. So are we or are we not?
Exactly.
Which one is it? Because you calling it awakening. You gotta be asleep to be awoke.
Right.
And the scripture tells you that the dry bones were going to awake. I think it's another scripture, awake out of sleep.
Yeah. Rise out of sleep now. Something I know.
Yeah.
It says here, in September, George Washington University's program on extremism released a report titled Contemporary Violent Extremism and the Black Hebrew Israelite Movement. The report noted that the predominant threat today comes not from Israelite groups themselves, but from individuals loosely affiliated with or inspired by the movement.
And that's how they try to tie the whole Jersey City thing, trying to say that, and why you was able to use that to interview us.
Right.
You know? Right. Because it's easy for them to just say, oh, well, they heard you say something, so that's what they was going to do.
Yeah, I asked the fat nigga, I'm like, yo, who told you we did that? He said, we have our sources. Because I'm like, yo, he's like, who, you know him? I'm like, nah, we don't know, I don't know. I'm like, yo, so where did you asking me all these questions, but who told you I knew him? Oh, we have our sources. Get your ass out of here. That shit weak as hell. And also that, you got to, y'all behind the line, give me one ID, give you one of y'all motherfuckers is corny as hell, man. To be a top level government movement dumbfounded and sloppy like that, man, y'all Esau is done, man.
If I'm not mistaken, that whole thing where they took out what happened before that happened, right? They took our stuff after that shooting?
It was two.
And that's why we walked in with the vessel.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
It was two incidents.
Right.
It was two.
Okay.
The first one was brothers. The second one was 2 years ago, I think, where the guy that put his face on him.
Right,
And
yeah.
they were like, oh, there was I forgot what
David
was
Anderson?
David Anderson. That was the second one. But the
That was
first
in
one-
Jersey City.
That was in Jersey City,
But
yeah.
I'm saying that Jersey City thing happened before they took our us.
No, there was the first one that happened.
Elizabeth, yeah.
That's
By the train station.
why
Yeah.
they came to brothers.
Right. So the Jersey shooting happened after they took our stuff. So what I'm thinking is they already knew that shit was gonna happen. Right. And they just wanted our information already on file so that they can get this.
Hey, exactly. The Lord is directing our steps. So what are you really gonna do that we can't overcome you? What are you really gonna do? Because this ain't of us. It's up to Heavenly Father. What did Gamaliel tell you niggas? Back in the Roman Empire. If he were here, he was still telling you the same thing.
Oh, he is here.
He is here. You know what I'm saying? But he's telling you through the scriptures. What are you gonna do?
It says here, back to Malone. It says Malone, the Christian activist, cautioned that as the extremist wing of the Israelite movement grows, more violent lone wolves may emerge. There's a big funnel, in quotes, there's a big funnel with any movement, and the bigger the funnel is, you get certain things down at the bottom, he said.
Now, listen to what the story that they're painting. They're saying that ultimately they got to stop this because what we're saying could spark somebody that's loosely affiliated or a lone wolf to react in a negative or a violent way. So we got to cut it off at the head, which is ultimately us right here. Now they've been doing this. You've been paying attention. They've been doing this whole thing with the whole MAGA and all that because they were saying that Trump and anybody, well, let's use him because he's a politician. The fact that he may not be violent, but it's people that listen to him, people that believe in his way of thinking or his ideas, they can go and act alone and do something crazy. So we just gotta just stop people from having this, giving them this platform altogether. And that's what they're doing right now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to the friendly interview, he said the same thing because he said, well, it was said this guy had stopped and listened to y'all camp. I'm like, yo, even if so, because we don't know the dude, it's true, or we're not knowing, we don't know. And I'm like, well, it was said he stopped and listened to y'all camp, or whatever. I'm like, yo, even if he did stop and listen, we didn't tell him to go do no act of violence. Now, if you want to take what we're saying and go do some violent shit, that's on you. You know what I mean? Then he just looking there and looking. I'm like, yo, this ain't got shit to do with that. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to listen to our message, then we ain't telling no, we telling wait ye upon the Lord. We telling judgment is gonna come, this and that. But if you want to jump the gun and do some crazy shit, based off like, man, fuck that, I ain't waiting for the Lord. They about to pay now. So if you want to do some shit like that, that's on you, but it's still the Lord's left hand working. You know what I'm saying? So, because you had Zealots going back to 70 AD, they was doing shit that did Israel more judgment brought down on Israel. You know, you had the Shikari going back then, jumping the gun, doing wild shit, and making the judgment come down more. So it was all comfortable. I'm telling that them, like, yo, man, that shit ain't, you can listen all you want, you want to snap the foot, that's on you. Then you want to ask, like, well, so how do you feel about this shit? Like, you think, ask a rabbi how the fuck you feel about being Mexican. I mean, I ain't sounding that, but I just looked at him like he was stupid. Because you know the doctrine, he wanted me to say some crazy shit like, good for the motherfucker, yeah. He wanted me to do something like that. But I'm like, yo, just like y'all don't give a fuck what you think a fucking Jewish motherfucking rabbi worried about Offset dying? His rapper name Offset. Man, I'm gonna walk up and, hey, Mr. Rabbi, you heard about Offset's death? He gonna look at you like, who is that? You're like, oh, the rapper Offset, he got shot in the head at a dice game. He gonna be like, nigga, is you like, so I'm like, yo, yeah. Be on the other side of the fence. But now, go ahead, brother.
They say that you asked them, no, how do you feel about that? What answer are they gonna give? ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't give a fuck. There's a shooting. Niggas persecute the nigga who did the shooting. Isn't there a system in here, an injustice system that you guys go upon? If somebody commits a crime, what's the shit that comes down on them? Why don't you follow the same thing? But no, when it comes to it, oh well, that vocab. Oh, there's a shooting. You got to be Israelites. Oh, you see, that's what they do. You see, that's that slander right there, man. The accuser of thy brethren.
Yeah,
you see, so you fulfill biblical prophecy of you being the Edomites, you being the wicked, and when you're being exposed, because a lot of people can't see it, because you hide it and you mask it with all this media and all this bullshit. No, when the truth comes out and it's being explained, that's when you try to demonize it and make it seem like, oh, that's hate speech. No, it ain't. It ain't hate speech, man. Get ready. If you want to talk about hate, get ready for the kingdom. Because over here, we ain't gonna touch you. You could push all this narrative and all this BS. Oh, you guys are inciting this and doing that. Men of the Lord, we ain't gonna physically do anything to you. The only thing that we know that works is bringing out this truth. All right, we can't pick up no arms and go against Esau. That's not what the Lord sent us here to do. Even YAHAWASHI, he could have done it. What did he say? If this were my kingdom, my servants would fight. This ain't his kingdom, so why the hell are we fighting? The only fight we can do is what? Is with his word, man. And it's working. We see what's happening. You devils are writing the times of Israel, writing about Israelites and all that stuff. Something that was supposed to be hush hush, never talk about them. Don't bring no attention to them. Now you just bring it on the forefront, man. Because what? The word is getting to you. Okay? The word is getting to you.
And one thing too is like, all right, they talk about all the violence of the enemy here. It's like, so what about all them Edomites that been shooting up motherfuckers, man? What about the Edomite that said, I hate niggas, I'm going to drive 200 miles to shoot black people, and he did it? Where's the outrage on that? They don't but who's responsible for that? Huh? That's what you should be. I mean, you just had somebody just I think it was in Colorado. Some Edomite shot some people. Was that? Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. What about that? But what about these Edomites that say they're actually racist towards black people, and they shoot them? You know what I'm saying? Where's vocab opinion about that? Yeah. So you can kill that noise where we incite riots, man. Ain't nobody, no real man of YAHAWASHI ever got caught up in no violence involving the truth. At least he had to defend himself, man. So you go, oh, he stopped by you and listened. So the fuck what? It's a public place. We're gonna tell you, no, you can't listen.
You know you're gonna do this.
Yeah, like yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know what? It's all good because this is supposed to happen. Yeah. I mean, I'd be more upset if this wasn't happening because then that means we just sitting here. You know, but things are happening.
The show is rolling.
That's it. You know, so we roll with it.
Yeah.
Now there's the last piece right here. It says,
What it say? It's better to be attacked and slandered than ignored. So like negative action or positive action is all good action.
That's it.
Going towards the program and the movie of YAHAWASHI.
Publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. Even before YAHAWASHI's persecution, he told the disciples why. He said, now we're heading to Jerusalem, and this was going to befall the Son of Man. He told them everything, man, in secret. He said, this was going to happen. And what did Peter do? He jumped right up. He said, no, that ain't going to happen. We're going to stand right, Lord, fuck that. And he said, whoa. I'm saying, hold on, bro. We got to do this.
Slow it down, bro.
Yeah, this is prophecy. So, brothers, we got to be in that mindset where, sometimes you might get to that point where you're like, damn, we got to really go. These motherfuckers really punching. They lying. Why can't they see it? They telling lies, bro. Can't you niggas see it? And guess what? The Lord is fighting on our behalf. So we gonna be good regardless, man. Let them do what they gotta do. But see, the more shit they talk, the more the Lord is going to blow this thing up even more, man. So let them talk. Let them. Hey, look what's going on. The name of Israel is coming to the forefront. And guess what? It's all gonna end up where? To the feet of the prophets. And they're gonna be waking up to this thing, man. All right, that's all it is. Okay.
Acts 24 verse 12, it says, and they neither found me in the temple disputing with any man, neither raising up the people, neither in the synagogue nor in the city. Neither can they prove the things whereof they now accuse me. But of this I confess unto them, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the God of my fathers, believing all the things which are written in the law and of the prophets. And that's us, man. You know, they ultimately, they're never going to find us out here telling anybody to go and do something, man. They're never going to find a video, a brother out on the highways and byways saying to the world to go out and take up arms. We condemn that. We speak against that. Okay? So that's why the Lord said that we are blameless. We're blameless in a crooked, perverse nation, man. Also says what? In their mouth was found no guile. Because the ones who have the true ministry, the true gospel, the ones who are the true ambassador of YAHAWASHI, we teach how YAHAWASHI taught, man. We teach how YAHAWASHI taught. Hey, he that live by the sword shall die by the sword. YAHAWASHI also said, what? This is my kingdom, my servants will fight. We also know that this is our kingdom, this is the person. So we're not going to fight over a land. We're not going to shed blood on the land for that we're not even trying to stay at. We're not going to fight for this. We're looking for the kingdom to come, man, and that starts with the commander-in-chief, YAHAWASHI, man.
Right.
And they know that, and that's why ultimately it may feel like you may get those jitters, and when that time comes, it's coming. You may get those jitters, you may get that feeling in the flesh, but ultimately you got the spirit, the comforter with you to know that I ain't do shit. Like, because they gonna make you seem like they did with the Central Park 5. If they would have the comforter, if they would have been faultless, because although they didn't commit that crime, obviously they was wicked to the Lord for some reason for them to have that happen to them. But what we're doing is actually the ministry of the Lord. So what we're doing, we're completely blameless, completely faultless. So when we in that predicament, that situation, you might have to think, yo, my job, my family, like, but at the end of the day, yo, I'm doing this for the Lord. Like, fuck my job. The Lord about to give me a crown if I'm about to be immortal with the Lord. Like, I don't give a fuck about my job, my friends, my family. Yep. That's why you said it. You that deny himself, you that forsake land, family, give 100-fold, and eternal life. Like I got you, Lord, like I got you. Don't worry about that. But I know that somebody
Real quick. Psalms 9 and 15. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made, and the net which they hid is their own foot taking. So everything they doing now is backfiring. And Esau's last desperation move is, let me get the public opinion. Nigga, the public opinion can't save you from the king of terrors, YAHAWASHI. Blank period. The dead, these walking dead masses can't save you. So do what you gotta do, get it off, and your shit is done with.
Right.
And that's why the scriptures say that our weapons are spiritual and not carnal. This is a spiritual warfare. And, these words that we're speaking from the Bible and everything, and, how we break it down and everything, it's all true to them. And they're hearing this and they're preparing. They're waking up to who they are, So now we have to, like I said, demonize, whatever, scrutinize, say they're domestic terrorists, this, that, and the third. This truth is going to prevail. YAHAWASHI is going to prevail. That's right.
Yeah, the devil, back to the federal enemy. Nerve. Because this relevant to the spirit, to certain of the things he was saying to me. As y'all talk about it, the interview keep popping in my head because they interrogated me personally for over an hour and some change. Damn near 2 hours. But anyway, he was like trying to be funny. So the nerd one, it was a nerd one. And that's how you know Babylon's falling. Like Faz and Narch, they had like rough cops. Like real rough cops. This like was like a Dookie Howser looking type kind of. He was like, yeah man, so what's the name of your cat? I was like, I looked at him like, yo, you know the name of the cat. He's like, oh yeah. So I'm like, so what you saying? I'm like, listen, it's DTA. Look, it's death to America because in order for our kingdom to come, America has to be destroyed. It has to fall on all aspects. And the best way for this place to fall and to be destroyed, and by us waking up and coming back to the Lord. That's why it's DTA. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna grab no motherfucking firearms. I'm like, listen, how long I've been in the truth? You think I'm gonna wait up to now to do? I could have been did some shit. You know what I'm saying? If it was like that, like the beat Cardinal was easy. And I told him, like, listen, you could go to fucking the next door PA. They sell fucking guns in Walmart. I don't got no felonies and no shit like that. If I really wanted to do some shit, I go to the neighboring state and just wild the fuck out. That's easy to do. I said I could destroy this place way further and faster and better by teaching my people. And he ain't had shit to say. Yeah, he ain't had shit to say, man.
My last question right here. So it says here, there is a big funnel with any movement. This is the vocab words. It says, and the bigger the funnel is, you get certain things down at the bottom, he said. This is not Buddhism. This is a different kind of thing with a different kind of rhetoric.
It's crazy because the same things that they say that we did, which is incitement and cause sedition, is the same thing they said with this guy Trump. You know, to the point where you can ask the average American person, hey, what happened during January 6th? They're going to tell you the same narrative that mainstream media pushed on, which is, oh, Trump incited violence and our Capitol was raided. See, but when you read this guy's tweets on that day, this is January 6, 2021, Donald Trump said, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence, with an exclamation mark. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. Then followed up with that and said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Where's the incitement in that? Where's the rioting in that? But see, the mainstream media, there's proof right here. This is what he actually said. But they say, oh, Trump incited violence on our Capitol on January 6th.
He actually got, like you said, he got indicted for that.
He did.
He had to literally go to court. The president had to go to court and make a I guess a defense or something, whatever it was, for inciting when he literally said the complete opposite.
So if they can, that's witchcraft. If they could use the media, right, to make people actually believe something that actually never happened, because we saw this shit. Remember we were talking about it, how he has to say certain things because of emotion and all that. So there's certain things that he actually has to come and say, but for him to actually incite violence like they pushed on the people, he never did that. But they pushed it and made it actually believable, because what did Hitler say? Tell a lie over and over again enough times, it becomes the truth in the minds of the people, and that's all that matters. If the people could believe this shit, like the brother was saying, public opinion. But this time, your public opinion is not going to save you from the actual thing that's coming with this truth. Period.
Matthew 10, verse 17. I start at 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And I say this is why for brothers individually, when you're not around brothers, when you're not on camera, this is why it's very important to keep your composure, man. You know, it's very important to keep your composure and to be circumspect about how you are acting and how about the people that you're around also. Because this devil, if he could take you down using somebody else, he'll do it, man. He'll definitely do it. If he finds you into some shit, you know, that's remember even the elders used to talk about even making sure your license is good. Because they can use anything to try to get you locked up. And once they put you in back in that paddy wagon, they put you in that interview room, they gonna try to put the pressure on you. And we'll take you out of this, you know. If you just tell us, you know, you ain't even gotta be a lie. Look, I'll write it. You just sign it. You know, you even gotta make it up. Right. Yeah, I'll write it for you and just sign it. You just name him and him and him, and we're good. But that's why the scripture says that they're gonna be portrayed by certain brothers, man. Because you got certain men that claim to be in the truth, but they're not living. They're not living the truth. They still have the old man on it. They're still involved around old niggas, and they may be doing stuff that is like regular, not as wicked, but you're around wicked niggas that's doing shit, and you get caught up in that shit, man. And then now you got your back against the wall by yourself, and then now you down at the precinct and giving a statement because you scared, you know. And that's why the scripture says, suffer not as an evildoer, man. You know, if you get pulled, that's why I say one place I don't ever want to be at is a jail cell. But if I go to jail for the truth, I'm gonna sleep really good at night. But anything else, I'm not trying to be there. You know? And that's why when you suffer for YAHAWASHI's sake, it's a totally different thing. It's like a good suffering. It's a good suffering. They need bell now. I'm good, bro. I can't might be in a link though, because I'm in jail for the Lord's sake.
They were choice. They was getting beat up and shit for the word.
Because it said what? Because they were accounted. They rejoiced that they were found worthy to suffer for the name of the Lord, man. Not everybody's worthy to suffer for the name of the Lord. There's a little bit more, but I don't even say
so. Just quick point, land backing off what the elder said, because you really want to make your enemies think it's love there. Because in doing so, and that's walking with wisdom towards those that are without, because you lulling them to sleep by doing that. So when you deal with these people outside, like Edomites, they actually might love us the way that we conduct ourselves. Because they be like, oh, I can't say nothing bad about them. Can't say nothing bad about them.
When they find out we're about, oh no, not him, I can't believe that.
Right.
How is he? Oh man, I didn't see that one coming. Because this is how we conduct ourselves.
And by then it'll be too late. The missiles will be flying, the chariots will be gliding, and we'll be out this bitch.
Because what the Lord, what did Pontius Pilate said about YAHAWASHI? I find no fault with this man. And with Paul, he said, well, he's like, I can't kill him. He didn't do nothing worthy of death. And that's how we're supposed to be in this world, man. We're not supposed to have any reasons why these devils should, you know what? He got a little bit of tape. He got a little bit of record. You know, that's drunk driving or disturbing, whatever it is. You know, you don't want that. Domestic abuse. Yeah, shit. You don't want that drunk in public. Like, you don't want that to be on your stain as on your name. You know, because that's ultimately not your name. That's the Lord's name. Because we're representatives of the Lord, man. That's why the scripture says that the gospel or the ministry be not blamed. A little bit more. It says, verse 17, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth unto the end shall be saved.
Going to go to the end. And now it's really where the game will get about to start. But now it's like, all right, everything we've been practicing, okay, we've been talking about these times, we've been talking about the persecution, we've been talking about the end of this age, all right, we've been talking about the MOTB, all right, the hour of temptation, we talked about all these things. But now, before that MOTB comes, you got to know that Esau is going to try to seal this thing on all avenues. And the first thing is eliminate those prophets, because they're the ones who are in our way of getting this new world order. See, so it's going to be all hell breaking loose, but it's going to be heat coming towards this truth. Specifically, the ones who stand on the YAHAWASHI's name, because that's what's prophesied to happen. For the name of the Lord's sake. Okay, so we're being persecuted for pushing that name YAHAWASHI, because we're not just saying that, oh, destruction is coming. We're saying he's coming to reign. Okay, he's coming to take over this motherfucker and destroy everything and set up his kingdom. All right, that's one thing these devils don't want to hear. But you're going to have to hear it. You're going to have to deal with it. Very soon, you're going to have to face YAHAWASHI when he comes back. Are you ready for that? Public opinion ain't going to save you from that. All right? You and the public going to get that quicker. All right? And that's what's coming. All right?
I got one last one. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
Right.
That's the key. We will be delivered by the Lord from the same, which is that remnant. All right, at the end of the day, there's going to be a specific amount of people that the Lord is coming down to deliver. Lord willing, we are those men that get to see the coming of our Lord at the end of it all. All right, so hey, that's pretty much it. Anybody got anything else to say? Close it out, man. Beautiful day, beautiful teaching. I want to give all praise to until next time.
Shalom. Word.
What's